A month. Crash. The bedroom door was closed. Crash. Arnie braced himself for a confrontation with his son, then flung open the door and stepped inside. It took a moment for his eyes to adjust to the darkness. Shadows on the walls, paint on the hardwood. That smell. What was that smell? An object hissed through the air. Arnie felt a blow to the side of his skull, and then, for a moment, everything went black. When he came to, a deep throbbing filled his head. Something covered his mouth and bound his hands. He couldn't scream, couldn't move. Suddenly, unseen hands tore open his shirt. Arnie flinched as nails bit into tender skin. He heard the snap of the match before he smelled the sharp scent of sulfur. With horror, he caught a glimpse of a shadowy face, eyes like the devil. He thought of the Bremberg girl's pigtails, brown and glossy and uncentered. Only one red bow. Then came the pain, and it didn't stop. 2. Allison Campbell may have spent the last 8 hours teaching people how to project confidence, class, and charisma, but by 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, she was feeling uncharacteristically drained. It was nearly the end of March, the time of year early rising daffodils should begin stretching their way from a long sleep, but winter held on with the tenacity of a stubborn 2-year-old. Clouds shifted and sulked in the sky, their brooding manner warning of even more snow and sleet. Allison tried to keep her focus on work, but her mind drifted to the weather, her sore feet, what she would have for dinner, anything but the paper in front of her. She looked again at the pink slip crumpled next to her, at Vaughn's tight, slanted handwriting. Call your sister. Important. With Faye, it was always important. Allison didn't have the stomach for it, not now. Still, she felt that familiar knot in her belly at just the thought of Faye. She'd call her back later. Allison took off blue-framed eyeglasses and rubbed her temples before focusing her attention back on the woman across the desk. Neck swathed in a maroon print scarf, short, wavy black hair, perfectly coiffed, Midge Majors was picking at the edges of her scarf with elegantly manicured fingers. Allison had spent the last 11 months convincing Midge that she could reinvent herself, that the world had need of women like her, even after the family life she had carefully cultivated had fallen apart. And Midge had risen to the challenge. This Midge looked almost the same as the Midge she had met a year ago. Pillbox hats and coordinating scarves in colors that matched her array of shirt dresses, sensible 1-inch pumps in neutral colors, little circles of red rouge on her heavy cheeks. But the changes were deeper. She no longer apologized after every other sentence. She maintained eye contact for long periods of time. And now, most important of all, she could laugh about her divorce. When 71-year-old Midge caught her husband cheating with a neighbor's adult son, in a burst of rage, she tried to kill him with an antique Remington Ingersoll Lifeline gun. Luckily, she was even less skilled with the gun than she'd been at expressing her feelings. The ex-husband was fine, but Midge suffered a breakdown. Over the last year, all that had changed. "I can't do it," Midge had said. "You can, Midge, and you will." "I'm too darn old." Allison smiled. It's never too late for a new adventure. "Who's going to take me seriously? I haven't worked in 40 years. My son says why bother?" "Your son doesn't always know what's best for you, Midge." Allison placed her hands down on the desk between them for emphasis. Midge's deference to the family that abandoned her when she most needed them had been maddening at first. But as sessions with Allison wore on, Midge seemed to like the person she saw in the mirror, and her dependence on her son's opinions had lessened. Today's self-doubt, Allison knew, was simply a case of the nerves. And who could blame her? "Your sons are not part of this equation. This is about you and the school's musical director. And you," Allison said with a smile, "are going to be fantastic." Allison watched a theater of emotions flicker across Midge's face. Disbelief, fear, anger, and finally determination. It was the determination Allison wanted, for Midge and all of her clients. The determination to fight against a world that wanted to dismiss her as frivolous or unworthy. The determination to